YouTube world, and welcome to Leah's Handmade Crafts, episode number 30. Today is a Whip Wednesday. I thought I'd pinch that from Yarn Utopia. I think it's a wonderful way of just updating weekly where I'm at and where I'd like to go next. So I've got a few items on the hook, and I even have one item on knitting needles. I'll get to that in a minute though. I'm still working on my blanket, which is slowly growing. Now this is folded in thirds at the moment because it's quite a big size now. So it's quite a lengthy thing now, and I'm using my stitch marker from Cowl from Crochet CJ because it's nice and heavy, and this yarn is quite heavy. So I've done 3 balls so far of a Lincraft cake. That's one of our local craft stores, and this is one of their cakes. I've done 3 in this colourway so far. I'm just about to break it up by adding that to it. It's a ball that I had from another project, and it fits beautifully as in the colours. So I thought just to break it up a bit. So I've got 3 balls so far of this. I'll do this ball, I'll do another 3 balls of this, and I will finish off with a jumbo muffin in that colour. This blanket's for a young lady who is one of my oldest friend's daughters. So she loves the colour teal, and I had done this blanket last year for my brother and sister-in-law, and Monique asked me to make a blanket up for Demi in the same colours, so that's why this current blanket. I've got this much left of the 3rd ball before I start in on this. I'm hoping to have the blanket finished, I would say sometime in the next 10 days. It's slow going. I'm there's a back post, front post stitch in it that with 207 stitches does get quite tiring. So I get halfway through a row and I have to put it down, go and do something else, just something mindless, and then I can go back to it. But that's my my major whip. I am also making a pillow, a cushion cover out of Bernat velvet. Don't ask me the colourway because I've taken the ball band off. Just bear with me, I'll go and get it. I won't be a minute. I have a bag that whenever I take a ball band off, I just put all of the bands into the one bag, so that if I'm looking for the ball bands and I'm doing this, I know where they are. Okay, so it's the Bernat velvet, and it's the colourway Indigo Velvet. So, and it is so soft. I had bought it initially to do one of the chubby bunnies. I do have another ball of it, and I will probably use the other ball to make the chubby bunny. I've taken a bit of a break on trying to do the chubby bunny because every time I start working on it, it just doesn't work out. So I'm hoping that when I start with the next ball of velvet and I've left it for a little while, it will not be so much of an issue. But this is where I'm at so far. I've measured it against the pillow. So that's that. I love working with it. It's so smooth. It is a bit slippery on the hook, but you know what? That's okay. It crochets up really, really quick. And I just do a row every so often when I just need a bit of a break from the blanket. So there's that. I also started, I was able at my local Aldi to pick up 2 balls of Bernat Super Value in the big stripes. And so I'm making the cowl that's on the front there. I'm not real sure about it, to be honest with you, because I'm not sold on it just yet. I think I need to do a few more rows. That's it so far. So you do a row of double, and then you do a row of treble, then you do a treble back post, and then you do another row of treble, and then you do a row of double. No, sorry, you do a treble back post, you do a double, and now I'm on to another treble before I do the next back post, double, treble, treble back post. I think I'm going to have to get a bit of it going before I feel comfortable with it. So far I'm not really sold on it, but it's one of those things that I think the further I go in it, the better I'll feel about it. At least that's what I hope. So nice not to have grey hair. Excuse my randomness. I go grey so quickly that I'm forever colouring my hair because it goes grey very, actually you might be able to see a few greys there, but I go grey very, very quickly. In the next couple of weeks you'll see me, I'll have the granny stripe going. I keep talking about just going grey permanently and being done with it and not colouring my hair anymore, but so far I haven't made the move. Okay, so that's my crocheting whips in progress. I have a knitting whip in progress, and the idea of my starting this is I have a dream of knitting a shawl, and I thought it's been so long since I've knitted that it would be a good idea for me to practice on a dishcloth as Carla from Crochet CJ is, and then move on to crocheting the shawl. Now this is my first ever time working with circular needles. I have never worked with circular needles before, but this way, this is my face washer in progress. There's that. And then the back. So I'm knitting one row, purling the next, knitting one row, purling the next to get the nice stocking stitch. I think that's what it's called. I hope that's what it's called. I can't remember. But anyway, that's, and I'm just using a cotton from our local craft store, Lincraft. Again, it's just an 8-ply cotton. I love using this. This is what I use to make my soap sacks, and I also use it to make a lot of my face washes. So, and it works up really quickly, but it's just great to, nice and soft, and so yeah. Anyway, that's my first knitted face washer. It's driving me a bit nuts because it's taking me so much longer to knit than it does to crochet. But when I need a bit of a break from crocheting, I'm just picking it up, doing a couple of rows, putting it back down, going back to my crocheting, and you know, I'll slowly get there. I'm never going to break any land speed records with my knitting because it's not my first love, crocheting is. But I've wanted to get back on the bandwagon like everyone else. I suppose I'm wanting to hopefully build up a love. My mother is an amazing knitter, and I would love to be able to knit a little bit more than I do currently. But you know what, I'm also very cognizant of the fact that knitting isn't, it's not me. Crocheting is. I've always loved crocheting ever since I was a wee girl. So yeah, but anyway, that's my Wednesdays, or as Carla from Crochet CJ calls them, works in love projects. she doesn't call them works in progress, she calls them love projects, and I must say I quite like that theory. Over my shoulder you can probably see my pressure cooker come slow cooker come rice cooker. It's starting to get colder here in Australia, so that's starting to crank out more meals. So yeah, but it's a bit warm here at the moment. It's meant to be getting colder, and instead it's still sitting at 26 and 27 degrees, which is quite warm for Australia at this time of the year. But hopefully it'll start to get a bit cooler soon. Mind you, I do hate the cold with an absolute sheer and unabiding passion. The only thing that I think makes the cold bearable is the fact that it's football season. My team's not doing too badly this year. They're not, they're not doing too bad. They're sitting inside the top 8. So, my mighty Tigers. So hopefully they continue to be in the 8. Maybe slip up the rankings a little bit higher, closer to 1 to 4, but that's all right. We're better than we have been for a few years. Actually, more than a few years, a lot of years. But now I'm just rambling. So I will sign off now. They're my whips and my works in progress. So until next time. Also, if you are in Australia or New Zealand and you are interested in being a part of a yarn carousel, which is basically, I put together a box of 10 yarn items, and I ship them off to the first person, and they pick out 2 to 3 items, and for every item you pick out you must put the same amount back. So if you take 1 out, you put 1 back. If you take 2 out, you put 2 back. I'm making it 3 so that it doesn't get too unwieldy. But then what you do is you take photos or video of what you've taken out and put back in, and then if you're not a podcaster, if you want to send me your photos of what you've taken out, don't put photos of what you've put in, just take photos of what you've taken out. I can then upload them and show them to the others so that everyone is a part of the whole process. And I can alternatively upload them onto my Facebook page. If you follow me on Facebook, I've got the link down below for my Facebook, Leah's Handmade Crafts. So yeah, if you don't want me to put them on the video, just put them on my Facebook page, and then everyone can have a look at what you've taken out. So you put the same amount of items in as what you've taken out, and you then send it on to the next person, and then they take out 1 to 3 items, they put 1 to 3 back, they take a video, they take photos, and then we send it on. And it goes around however many people before it then comes back to me. But it's just a little bit of yarny fun. They do it over in the States, and I've seen a few videos. Recently, Yarn Joy did a video on the carousel they're involved with, and Rose from Rose Likes Crochet, she's got a carousel going at the moment. And living so far away from the States, I've wanted to be a part of their carousels, but obviously the postage is just too prohibitive coming here to Australia. So I ummed and ahed about it, and I thought, well, what better way than to start our own and have a little bit of fun doing our own carousel. One lady who got in touch with me, just bear with me, I won't be a minute. Sorry about that. One of my young podcasters, Karen, messaged me, and she's wanting to be a part of it, which I'm really happy for her to be a part of. But she made a suggestion that I do a shout out video to other Australian and Kiwi podcasters that are on YouTube. I know of probably about 5 absolute tops, but if you know of other Australian, like, so we've got Gypsy, and we've got Mousy Moo, and we've got Kiwi as a crocheter, and there's a few that I know, and Judy from Which Piece Craft. If you know someone that's a podcaster and I haven't mentioned them, or there's someone that you've recently come in touch with that's an Australian podcaster and you think, oh, you know, I'd really like to see them given a shout out, can you just put the name of Australian and New Zealand podcasters that you know down below, and I'm just putting together a list so that I can do a shout out video, because it'd be nice to give my fellow Anzacs a bit of a leg up. So if you know anyone that falls into those categories, just give me a heads up, and one of my future videos will be an Anzac shout out. But until next time, and if you're interested in being a part of the Yarn Carousel and you live in Australia and New Zealand, shoot me an email at the email address listed below in the drop down box. Just where the little arrow is, just click on that. Down there in the bottom will be my email address. Shoot me an email and I'll add you to our Yarn Carousel. I'm looking at starting it the second week in July. So after the tax man's been, and I've got some money to be able to pay for postage. But yeah, I'd love to have you join us. It's open to subscribers and podcasters alike, only because I figure there's not a lot of podcasters here in Australia and New Zealand, and as subscribers and being so far away, we also miss out on a lot. So I wanted to open it up to both. So as I said, if you're not, if you don't have a video channel like a podcast, just send me a photo of what it is that you've taken out, or put it on my Facebook page, and that way then everyone can be a part of the process, and they can see what's gone on, because it's really good fun to watch. Sorry, I'm crocheting as I'm talking. It's really good fun to see what people are putting in, and what people are taking out of the carousels that they're a part of, and to be a part of that fun happy mail. So yeah, have a think about it. If you're interested, shoot me an email and we'll get rolling in July. Until then, keep crafting, keep crocheting. God bless and have fun.